My name's Kevin O'Leary and I'm an occupational therapist. We're currently at Braden International in Carterton. Braden's one of the companies around the country that actually undertake the vehicle modifications. Whatever we do, it's got to be done in a way that means the person is safe, that their driving is safe or their travelling as a passenger is safe. It very much is an individual thing, and so we're always looking at, if the person's driving, where do they need to be sitting to steer? Where are their legs in relationship to the pedals on the floor that they're not going to be using? So where do they need to sit to steer, and then where does the hand control need to go in relation to where they are sitting to steer? Right, is this down as far as it can go?
Yeah,
that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, because my other one...
So Tony has a vehicle, this is a Kia Carnival, so it's a lowered floored Kia with side entry and all that kind of stuff, and the floor's been lowered. Tony, as a result of her disability, drives the vehicle from her wheelchair with conventional hand controls. So just with your hand resting on the hand control and do the whole steer bit. We've changed brands of power chair, and it means the position that Tony drives in relation to the steering wheel is different between the two chairs, so we need to move the docking system on the floor of the van so that it matches the correct driving position. And then we also need to make a slight adjustment to the controller of the power chair, because right now, even with it dropped down out of the way, it's in the way of the hand control for acceleration. You'd break it down into those that drive and those that travel as passengers. So for those that travel as passengers, then the modifications will be the means of accessing the vehicle, which is primarily a hoist. Sometimes it's a ramp, but more often than not it's a hoist. You've got to put a level floor in, so that the rear of all vans are all corrugated for strength. So you've got to put a wooden floor in so that the wheelchair will run to the correct position. There will be the restraint system that holds it down, a seat belt to hold the person in there as well. And then there's the driving, and so there's people that transfer into the driver's seat of their car and then drive. And so the modifications can be something as simple as pedal modifications. For example, somebody that's an amputee, has a right leg amputation and needs to drive, and then we might be looking at a left foot accelerator pedal, and right through to somebody that can't use their lower limbs at all, and so they're driving with hand controls. You push away to brake, which is the conventional way of doing things, but the accelerator is just a little trigger here. And then there's the indicators and secondary controls are actually on the hand control. You've got a standard steering wheel knob. And the thing that's slightly different with this is that the gear selector is here on the right hand side. So they've put a crossover bar so that you can have your brake on and then flick it up and it will put it into drive. The majority of people can just use a generic hand control. If the person has all four limbs involved related to their disability or injury, then it's a little bit more complicated in how you need to set things up. Somebody that has a tetraplegia, as well as fitting the hand control into the vehicle, we'll be looking at all the secondary controls, how they're going to manage the indicators and the dashboard controls and the gear selector and starting the vehicle and stuff along those lines. And so depending on that individual's abilities and the specific vehicle that's chosen, we then need to work out solutions for how they're going to manage everything and be independent. Technology is really good in the vehicles, so stuff like keyless entry, remote ignition, push button start, electric park brakes. It just means if you've got a high level of injury or disability and you have less ability to access secondary controls, the more features in the vehicle, the easier it is to drive. And so these modern vehicles with the drive assist technology will in the next 5 years flow through into the second-hand market, which will give availability. And it also means with that technology we have to do less modifications to the vehicle, which in theory can make it cheaper.